Black African power. What's good? What's happening? A well-organized lie. Defeats a disorganized truth every time. Woo-hoo-wee, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. It's God killing the house. And I come to do what I got to do, and I'm going to do what I got to do. I'm standing tall, standing strong. Hey, Bobby banging this bitch. What's good, family? Man, y'all already know what it is, man. We right here. About 2 weeks to go, man, with this debate. Monkey or human? Did all humans come from Africa? Maybe they popped up in the Garden of Eden somewhere. Somewhere in Israel or somewhere in Turkey. Maybe they popped up in Antarctica, Greenland, South America, Australia, Indo-European, Oxen River somewhere, Pakistan and Bekistan. All ancient indigenous creation stories are wrong. All indigenous people have a creation origin for their people. Not trying to break your spirits, ladies and gentlemen, but they was all wrong. Guided by belief, guided by social structure, guided by ignorance of their environment, they thought that their story was where their people came from. The Native Americans have a story to claim we was always here. The funny part about it is, as humans walked through the Americas and mutated, they had particular mutations that was only there. But the way they got there, the indigenous people never knew. Now, I know y'all think the Bible is talking about the whole world, but it's not. It's only talking about the biblical world. It's only talking about the Israelite Hebrew world. It's not talking about the whole world. How much farther would we be in our development as thinkers if our family just would have said their little piece? Well, you know the Bible's only talking about this part of the world. And you would ask the question, well, why is that? Because humans didn't know about the rest of the world. Humans didn't know about 90% of Africa during the time of the Hebrew period. There's no records of anybody exploring all Africa. There's no records of anybody circumnavigating the continent. There's no evidence of humans circumnavigating the globe to even know it. I got a book right here talking about first people to circumnavigate the globe. How much intelligent would we sound if people just knew that? Vince, what's going on, man? Chris, I see you, man. Henry, I see you. Suntan, what's good? We ain't doing nothing till we at least get to 40 people, man. We ain't moving. We ain't doing nothing, man. We're going to stay right here, locked in. Yeah, I know they got this debate coming up, man. Nepal versus Naphtali. Are we animals, primates? If you sitting there saying we ain't animals, I mean, you definitely ain't studied indigenous creation stories. You on the outside looking in, man. Man, we got some real powerful shows that we done had, man. Y'all need to go back and look over them. That'll help push you forward. And that's just real talk, man. Help push you forward in your development. As African American. I like to say FBAA. Foundational Black African American. That way we ain't got no pseudos tied to it. Oh man, with the black we ain't doing all that. We're using anthropology and anthropological studies to reconcile the misinformation that we've been taught. And if you can't handle that, these type of shows ain't for you. Now, if you want to push back, it's right for you. Push back because it's par for the course. True oxygen ain't a daggone question you can't ask me that I can't find an answer for. Take a drink of the water. Super water. Easy Band jumped on the show, talking crazy, and now we gotta beat him up. Gotta get him. Need these 35 in the building, man. What we doing? What's your question? What you talking about? Ask me a question. Your name. Your name might be a red flag. The oxygen name might be a red flag. Let me hear the question. Okay. My DNA test showed I'm around 27% East African. I'm Black American though, through and through. How did I get East African ancestry? Did they get taken to you? What? Basically, what your DNA test is probably saying, and what you should do is take the results and put it in ChatGPT. It don't necessarily mean you came from East Africa at all. What it's saying is that the markers that you have, people in East Africa share some of those markers too. That's what's really telling you. About maybe 10, 12 years ago when I did my DNA test, kind of misconstrued it. I'm going to show my DNA test. I'm going to do a whole show on my DNA test because my enemies try to use it against me. They do. All right. Man, y'all know we got 40 in the building. We about to go ahead and beat up Easy Band because he's the easy Christian work around here. He's always misconstruing information. He's doing it. I think he do. Nah, he don't do it on purpose. You know when you learning, yo. Seriously, yo, when you learning, you gotta take your licks and get beat up. Seriously, man. So we at the 40 mark, man. Definitely that. Let's get the thing started. God killer, we make those ring bass from the Kenneth. Use me. NW clear vision. Hilltop roots, no gimmicks. Mon diamond, just the tempo. Race this turn. Info heavy, show sources. Don't chit chat, no proof. Fall back. Quick. Rogers Ave, where I'm at. Another Pequee, stay intact. Park Heights, facts ready. Liberty Heights, no ferry. Yo, playing weak, go fast. Gear review, hold that. Methods first, no myth. You replicate, then it's legit. God killer, we make bells ring. Bass in the cannons, haze ring. You promote pseudo, dust cap. Stick or swim, better adapt. Roger that, talk slick love. Another Pequee, move quick love. Show sources, don't chit chat. No proof, fall back. Quick. NW clear vision. Hilltop roots, no gimmicks. Correlation ain't cause headlines, love applause. Rogers Ave, no fake flex. Novin Pequee, no late. Dion Riley, facts, steps, say less. Learn up, then rap. Mondom and shift the tempo. Rest this down and fall heady. Park Heights, facts ready. Liberty Heights, no ferry. Let's go, y'all. Let's get it in, man. Y'all know how we doing this thing, man. Let's get started. Man, get your questions together, man. Get your heart together and get ready to hit the damn link, man. Let's go. Easy work around these parts.
Christians actually separated the science from religion.
Nigga, that was after you got beat up. And ChatGPT did.
How did I get beat up?
Listen, come on, bro. You started off with... Hold on, bro. Don't make me pay the video.
That's that cap.
You know what? I ain't got time. Right now. All right, don't make me go back to the video.
Talk. You ain't even let me talk, bro.
Yeah, go ahead, talk. You capping down, because we teach that over here, bro.
Listen, no.
We teach that over here, Easy Band. Easy Band, you never taught nobody that. Don't sound like Chief X now.
What church was David Hume from?
This one happens every time you guys are getting cut.
No, we talk about Galileo and Copernicus and then what are you talking about?
Bro, but you
we
didn't
talk
frame
about
it.
how the Christians changed
it the way I framed it. You didn't frame it the way I framed it.
You framed it. You used to be taught it. You tried to read something saying that they didn't set. You lied. You said they separate.
So easy ban.
Made that up.
So easy ban. David Hume. David Hume.
No, let easy ban go, yo.
Lying and
shit. Let me ask easy ban the question.
So look, this is how
what church did David Hume come from? What was the church that David Hume come from?
Basically,
easy ban. I'm asking you a question.
No, man, let this man talk, man. Just let him go. Let him go.
So I said that the endeavor for the practice of science came out of basically people asking, who are we? Where do we come from? These intrinsic questions that lead to spirituality. So from spiritual thought, basically came out the endeavor for science. And so I built
out of philosophy. Science come out of philosophy, not out of religion.
Hold on. Then I built
easy
up.
Right?
Easy so look,
science
I'm just giving.
Not come out of religion. Science does not come out of religion. Science does not, because science does not come out of religion.
Did I say? What did I say? I said from the intrinsic questions that people are asking about spirituality, right?
They're not asking about spirituality. They're asking about the world they're in.
Look, you're basically speculating.
I'm not speculating.
Yes, you are, because you don't have any proof that science didn't come from.
We have David Hume. We have David Hume. That's what I'm asking you. Which church does David Hume come from? The foundation of science comes out of David Hume,
right?
Hold on, Cedric. This we got to do. Go ahead, let the man talk. No, easy ban. Easy ban. You're right. We're terrified. Go ahead, easy ban. You're right. Let me put you on the screen. So go ahead, bro.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform.
Yeah. So basically,
make a whole video off of this. Go. Need the content.
Make a whole video, shoot it, record it, write it down, whatever, man. You still getting beat up all day. So take this in, man. So out of people having intrinsic questions and wondering who are we, where do we come from, etc., that allowed people and allowed for a fertile ground for the scientific endeavor, because people started looking and seeing, okay, there's creation here. It must be intelligible. I must have intelligence or IQ enough for me to comprehend what is going on around me. Therefore, I can try to decipher what's going on. And that's where the scientific endeavor comes from. Now, we moved on from that point, right? We moved on from that point because in the community, you always hear about people talking about, you guys follow the white man's religion, right? So my point was to hold a mirror up to the same community of people who stand on science, right? To show them that the actual scientific method that you guys use today and stand on actually was pioneered by Europeans, actually European Christians, white men, you feel me? They pioneered the scientific method.
Cat. That's cat. I've been hearing that mumble, jumble, bumble in the conscious community since I stepped my foot through the door. Cat. That cap so big on his head, he can't even hold his head up. He wobbling. Title of the show, Culture, Science, Religion. Is there such thing as African science or European science? What we not going to do is play this game about European science. I dare y'all get up here with that nonsense. When you say there's a such thing as European science, a cat appears on your damn head immediately. What it means is you don't understand science. That's okay. Science ain't something you just understand. It's not that, yo. Cat.
That you guys believe in and stand on, etc. So I'm just showing you the hypocrisy that you guys use, right? And this happened in the medieval period. And Ankh was basically, Ankh tried to spread out the credit for that. So he started going back to the Romans, the Greeks. He started going back to a whole bunch of people until I brought sources. I brought a source from I think it was the Encyclopedia Britannica about the scientific revolution, and it showed you that it was Europeans that basically separated religion and science and changed the paradigm shift from the time of the Greeks 2,000 years earlier. All right, that's what happened. Now, anything else they're trying to tell you, that is capped. They got beat up, and that's where it is, man.
All right, man. Appreciate that moment right there, moment in time. Yo, you just got a whole show for us. We got your words on tape, man.
Word.
I just wanted to make sure you got a fair shot at it. We appreciate the elevated conversation, man. White man science cap, African science cap. 22 centimeters is 22 centimeters no matter where the hell you go. The method, the way you do things. What people really want to say is that there are different cultural views. That's what you want to say. That's what you should say. The approach towards doing this or doing that may vary based off your world view. There's a cultural container of ideas, practices that cause you to view the world a certain way. But when it comes to science, the scientific method tries to kill all that. Oh, since my culture stood outside longer, they could see this better. Oh, my culture was first, Hebrews, so we had the best science. Oh, indigenous people tied to the land, they had. It is religious thinking, easy bands, because he's a Christian. He can't separate the way he thinks from his Christianity. The source of the human population based off of easy bands is in the Garden of Eden. Where they just pop up out the ground. God reached down. Oh, and God reached down and grabbed the earth and blew into his lungs, and man became a living soul. Now man needs a helpmate. I'm going to put him to sleep, sprinkle the dust. He's going to fall asleep, and out of his ribs, I'm going to create a woman. Ba-ba-boom! See what I'm saying? Ain't nothing popping up. Ain't no science popping up in Europe out of nowhere. We have religious thinking. It's called the pop-up ship. They just popped up in America. Humans did. They popped up. This is religious thinking. This is early people thinking that. They thought they popped up out the tree. Some popped up out the river. You think this weird? The Hebrews think they popped up out to grab some dirt. Nah, man, science is a human endeavor that started with humans in Africa and spread through Asia and went to, you need to have empirical ideas. Indigenous cultures had empirical ideas, man. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't recorded, no written language. They wasn't writing, none of that. But it was ways we had to get our food. Yo, it was a certain way we need to hunt, and we're going to transmit that vocally to the next generation. We're going to, I'm going to show you how to make this Earl. We got a certain way to knock the rocks together so they form into this. You know what I'm saying? That became empirical, man. But it wasn't. But it's the first rudimentary understanding that, bro, we need food, clothing, and shelter, bro. That's what humans do. They secure food, clothing, and shelter. And when the medicine man don't work, you kill him and find somebody else. Hell, when you get to America, the Europeans was wild. You couldn't know the difference between a witch doctor, a medicine man, or whatever the hell you want to call it. What they call them, people running around selling you potions. You couldn't even separate that from what person was calling a doctor. They was all mumble jumble mixed up. I don't want to hear Europe, man. Listen, man. This is what we not doing no more. Time out for all that. Get your life together and read something a little bit. Listen to a decent podcast. Start off with listening to somebody that don't look like you. That might be your first thing you need. Nigga, I'm trying to show you something here. Because as the story goes, Europeans had to get ideas from you. So if they went in there like this, I ain't looking at dates. Remember, this is the funny thing about racism. Early colonial powers came in measuring African civilizations, and they try to act like it came from them, right? The whole time when they go to Africa, let me talk about Egypt first. That seems like the thing people understand. I want you to know when Napoleon Bonaparte took his butt to Egypt, guess what he went with? Scientists. Did you know every time one civilization conquers another, they go right to the knowledge base? They not saying, they talk the trash on the outside. Oh, that's smuggling women. And they had babies by them. Oh, that's society stupid. And they sitting right there with the medicine man, collecting data. Y'all didn't know? Napoleon and them take scientists. They draw, they looking at it, they like, oh, hell, this is in Africa. This shit is older than older than our shit. Excuse my language. They was like, the early geologists, they was like, these pyramids, these buildings is older than anything we got in Europe. Okay, this we're gonna do. We're gonna make these people white right here, because they built, we ain't even got nothing besides that, but so they white people. And we're going to push all the black people. We're going to call that sub-Saharan Africa where the black people is. So the black people is stupid. And the only reason these white people right here is intelligent because they came from Europe. It's called invading race theory, man. They divided Africa up like that, man. That's why Black Egypt is so crazy, because y'all following the mindset of colonial powers, man. Y'all thinking that you got to have the big lips and the peppercorn hair to be African. That's fake. But the point I really want to make here is that when they conquer civilizations, they study them. They do not burn the damn books. All right? They incorporate the books. They learn. They add on. So science is the ability to transmit ideas from one culture to the next, yo. And it builds. Remember I talked about the key? If you go in and burn down a civilization and kill a knowledge, then you have to start over again from where they was at. That's not what you do. You go in, you get what they got, and you add to it. No more different than the Egyptians did with the chariots that they got from the Hyksos. They modernized them. They put stabilizers on it. They put shock absorbers on it. The Hyksos chariots, right? You could not shoot from the back of them. Too rough. You couldn't shoot. The Egyptians took it, put some armor around it, put some shock absorbers and some stabilizers, and now you can ride on the back of it stable and shoot the hell out of somebody. You just take the technology and make it better. You don't, that's so cherry. I'm going to burn it down. Medicine. Come out the rainforest. Ancient people. Medicine men. Medicine women. Their tradition is herbs. Egyptians had a tradition of herbs, man. The problem is y'all want to take some herbs from 3000 BCE and bring it forward. The population is different. The ecology is different. humans are in different ecological niches. We're waging a war against viruses and pathogens, genomic transfers, 8.5 billion people, 9 billion people. You want to go back to where it was a couple million people? Yeah, man, y'all tripping. No airplanes, no buses, no cars. Man, a person can be sick in Baltimore, Maryland, and take it to Russia in the same day. He don't even know he's sick yet. He get to Russia, then he started, that's what viruses do. Viruses are smart. I will make you feel good for a while. And you end up in Russia, and then you start, and then you spread it. It wasn't like that during the times where herbs ruled the medicine, bro. You wasn't going from Egypt to California. I know some of y'all spooked out, think they was in California because you spooked out and you don't care. You just want to talk crazy and get everybody wrapped up. My point is, Easy Band is capping because Europeans do not develop the scientific method like that. That's not how it happens. Okay, you could this is a simple research right here. Easy work. Easy work. This is not hard. It's not difficult. It ain't even worth arguing with them. But it's content. That's what it is. Isaac Newton. Come on, man. Both, look. Now, if you're dealing with Isaac Newton and rationalism, right? Both Bacon and Descartes wanted to provide, a firm foundation of scientific thought, that avoided, the deception of the mind and senses. Remember I tried to tell you, that senses are good for doing science, yo? See? Tried to bring, y'all looking at me like I was crazy. So then it goes on to say, if there was any doubt about the direction of which scientific method would develop, see the word develop there? They would set the rest by the secession of Isaac Newton, implicitly rejecting Descartes' emphasis on rationalism in favor of Bacon's empirical approach, right? But that's all the way down here. Let's go all the way up here. Boom. Go all the way up here, yo. Come here. Bam. This is an early attempt, the Edwin Smith papyrus, an Egyptian medical text from 1900 to 1600. I can put that in there because I study. Set out an empirical method. They trying to put together an empirical method right here. Because for the first time, look, and if you read this, it say there are a few explicit discussions in the scientific methodologies and surviving records from early cultures. It say the most that can be inferred about the approaches and undertaken in science in this period stems from what? Descriptions of early investigations into nature. It says, in surviving record, the Egyptian medical text, Edwin Smith, applies the following components: examination, diagnosis, treatment, and prognosis to the treatment of disease, which displays strong parallel to the basic empirical method of science, according to G.E.R. Lord, played a significant role in the development of this methodology. The Egypt's papyrus also contains evidence in traditional imperialisms. By the middle of the first millennium BCE, Mesopotamian Babylonian astronomy had evolved into the earliest examples of scientific astronomy. Those who study know that really this word don't really fit because they did not have scientific astronomy yet. They had proto-astronomy. They just used the word scientific astronomy as a placeholder. Basic. All right? So, if you come right here, you don't see no Europe. There ain't no Europe in the first millennium BCE. Point blank. Don't do it. It goes on to say, according to historian Asghar Abul, all subsequent varieties of scientific astronomy in the Hellenistic world, in the Indian, in the Islamic world, and in the Western world, if not indeed all subsequent endeavors in the exact sciences, depend upon Babylonian astronomy and deceive the fundamental ways decisive and fundamental ways. The early Babylonians and Egyptians developed much technical knowledge, crafts, and mathematics. I can just stop right there. My point is that the scientific method don't just pop up out of nowhere. That's religious thinking. You got to get to the classical antiquity. You got to deal with the Greeks, right? The Greeks routinely say that the Egyptians were renowned in their medicine knowledge and their herb knowledge. They actually write down. I ain't talking about just making up something. Then you got Thales, the first known philosopher to use a natural explanation for proclaiming that every event had a natural cause. Thales. I've done lectures on Thales. Puts together one of the first quote unquote schools of study. Remember, in classical Greece, if you was trying to explain things based off of natural causes, they called you a what? An atheist. And it did not mean that you did not believe. It's just simply saying that we're saying that the gods didn't do it. And they say, oh yeah, we're going to lock you up. Or we're going to throw you out. Or we're going to give you the death penalty. Oh yeah, because it's the state-sponsored religion. So actually, an atheist, it was used as a pejorative. It did in its purest form. It does not mean a person that does not believe or have a God. It's a person who's going against the state-sponsored religion. Last time I checked, all of y'all was supposed to be going against the state-sponsored religion. Ain't that why you in the conscious community? Because you're going against a religion sponsored by those who enslaved you. Y'all remember that piece right there? I don't know how the hell y'all just missed that part. Don't hate me, hate the game. Anyway, the point I'm making here, you can go to India's school of thought, all here. Indian philosophers. Remember, I'm saying I told Easy Band out of philosophy came science. You got Plato, all of them. You just keep moving. Aristotle. All right. Europe ain't here yet. We still in the Mediterranean now. We didn't move from Africa, Babylonia, right? Now we in the Mediterranean. Look. And they're adding pieces to it. They're unlocking. Right? Then they start doing experiments. Look, during the Middle Ages, issues of what is now termed science began to be addressed. Where, yo? Where? In the Middle Ages. Is it the Middle Ages in Europe? No, remember, they was going through a period that they call the Dark Ages. And I don't mean what you learned in the conscious community. I mean, it wasn't transmitting as much and producing as much written language. I mean, written material, historical documentations. Remember, the Roman Empire fell, right? You just got the Byzantine Empire. Remember, it fell, all right? And, you know, it is what it is. The barbarians could not administrate the damn empire. And as crazy as we act sometimes, let's just say America did fall, and it'd be on our backs to run it. Could we do it? Huh. Maybe. Could we do it with the pseudo-wisdom of the conscious community? Hell no. Everybody be sick and dead. You can't even leave and go to Africa because the disease would kill you. Because you're going to take a handful of wild herbs that you brought off. Let me stop. Anyway, during the Middle Ages, the issue of what is now termed science began to be addressed. It wasn't being addressed in Europe yet. It said, and I'm not speaking to absolutes. I'm pretty sure there's pockets, right? But this is, I'm giving you a summarization. We're not speaking to absolutes. There was greater emphasis on combining theory with practice in the Islamic world, y'all. So what did the Islamic world do? They reached the golden age. How did they reach the golden age? By having an empire, by going to Europe, by going to Africa, taking that knowledge, putting it together. Remember, they got the capital was in Iraq. They from Arabia, but they make the capital in Iraq and they put up schools. What's it called? The House of Wisdom. Look it up. It says Islamic world. It say then there had been in classical times. See, so they now surpassed in the classical times in the Mediterranean. We ain't mentioned Europe yet. It was common for those studying the sciences to be artisans as well. Sometimes that had been considered, all right, an aberration in the ancient world. It says Islamic experts, watch this, in the sciences were often expert instrument makers. Why am I stopping right here, y'all? I want y'all to think about this. Instrumentation. Remember what I talked about, your five senses? Watch this. It says expert instrument makers who enhance their powers of observation now and calculations with them. Starting in the early 9th century, early Muslim scientists such as Al-Kindi and the authors writing under the name of Jabbar ibn Hayyan, look at the date, all right, it say began to put a greater emphasis on the use of experiments as a source of knowledge. Several scientific methods, thus emerged from medieval Muslim world. The early 11th century, all which emphasize experimentation as well as quantification to verifying degrees. He's still in the Islamic world. Ibn Hayyan, what does he do? He produces the book of optics. He's a physicist. He uses experimentation to get results. Here you go, the book of optics. So he builds tools for vision. Experiments, rational arguments, no mention of Europe yet. Scientific, look, Ibn Hayyan also employed, scientific skepticism and emphasized the role of imperialism. Where's that word at? Way back up there when I talked about the mathematical, not the mathematical, but the, y'all know what I'm saying. Right here. Right here. Right here. All right? Empiricism. Edwin Smith, medical papyrus. No Europe yet to mention. Greece is in the Mediterranean. Rome is in the Mediterranean. Let's get our geography straight here. I know what I'm saying. And I'm saying each culture, as they conquer the next culture, they build on what's already there. Yo, you don't tear it all down, bro. All right? Still in the Islamic world. Not Europe ain't on the scene yet, yo. Al-Bruno. Inquiry. Experimentation. Persian philosophers. That's a such thing as African philosophy, right? And important. It's a way you thinking. Early canon medicine, right? You gotta go all the way back to the Nile Valley to get to the milestone, yo. There's a milestone in Africa, all right, that people to this day give credit for in Africa. That's what scientists do. Scientists give credit for the people's shoulders they stand on. The conscious community like to tear that down. Medical milestones, 1850. For millennium, humans have been trying to understand and treat every manner of the body ailment. Here are a few examples of achievements in medical first. And that's that Edwin Smith prize I talked about, yo. All right. 2650 BCE, Imhotep is one of the first physicians known by name. The father of Egyptian medicine is born. Surviving papyrus indicate much earlier origins of Egyptian medical knowledge. Yeah, yo. So they take all that. The Assyrians do. The Persians do. The Greeks do. I'm giving you the order. Assyrians, they defeat the Egyptians. The Persians, the Assyrians defeat the Nubians. Pianki and the boys. Not Pianki, I think his son. But y'all know what I'm saying. I'm saying that I'm saying that the Syrians, they defeat the 25th dynasty, yo. The 25th dynasty defeated the Libyan pharaohs, and they conquered all of Egypt. No time period in history did the Egyptians conquer all of Nubia. I'm just want to put that out there. But the Assyrian, Sennacherib, he's the Assyrian king. He defeats the Nubians. The Persians defeat the Assyrians. The Greeks defeat the Persians. The Romans defeat the Greeks. The Muslims defeat the Romans. That's how I go. But they really taking their knowledge with them, and they adding on to it. All right. Grotesque. Robert Grotesque. Now we're in the Renaissance, doing the European Renaissance. That's the 12th century. Can y'all please take a calendar out somewhere, yo, and please tell people around you, man, just follow the calendar. Now, he does what ideas on scientific methods, including Aristotle's empiricalism and experimental approaches. So he goes back to the Mediterranean, right, and building them ideas, okay? Look, watch this. Okay, approaches of Alhazen and Avicenna were introduced to medieval Europe via Latin translations of Arabic. Who writes in Arabic? And Greek texts and commentaries. Okay, man. Roger Bacon. All right, now the Renaissance, humanism, all right, and medicine. Okay, now we're in the now. That's why everybody gotta just knock it off, yo. Okay, skepticism. Look, skepticism as a basis for understanding. That's why I'm saying. That's why like and subscribe to the community of skeptics. I'm telling y'all to be skeptical. Y'all sitting around here looking at me like I'm crazy. All right, okay. All right, now we get it. See? Galileo. Galilei. When he dealing with math. Y'all know who Galileo was. Yes, he was financed by the Catholic Church. So what? And they locked him up, remember? You got too slick with the side, lock him up. I don't know if he's doing too much. Okay, man. It's Isaac Newton. All right? Yeah, yo, okay. Integrating deductive methods. I'm saying, man, we're not sitting around here talking about no European nothing, yo. That ain't what we doing. Y'all think I am, but I'm not, man. Y'all bananas with that. That gets me. Y'all want to get me mad? How about what? Man. The white man science. So that's all y'all gotta do. I'm hot. Red hot. I'm gonna open that link up though, yeah. But let me see. It's a part right here. Right here. Right here. Remember this? Remember I was reading this a couple seconds ago. Remember I said this is important? Scientists and artisans as well. It says something that had been considered an aberration in the ancient world. So they was thinking, you're an artisan, right? You can put things together. That's just admiration. But it say Islamic experts in the sciences were often expert instrument makers. Watch this, who enhance their powers of observation and calculation. That brings us to here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh man, that's my debate thing. Y'all don't need to see that right yet. Y'all gotta pay for that. And bring you to right here. Look, y'all. Remember I talk about this? It seems pretty simple. Now, this is from Neil deGrasse Tyson. I know y'all don't like him. It seems pretty simple, doesn't it? Our first and most basic link to the universe is provided by our senses. Seeing something and hearing it, smelling it, feeling it, tasting it, grounds us in reality. You know, we talk about this all the time, y'all. So our senses must be an important part of looking at the world. You know, like the eyeball says the Olmec statues is black. That's a human. That's not a monkey. Ankh. Yeah, you look into your eyes. So our senses must be an important part of looking at the world from a scientific point of view, right? It's a big question mark right there. See, now we're teaching. That certainly sounds right. But Neil deGrasse has argued repeatedly that our senses are not terrible good indicators when it comes to scientific matters. See that? See that? That's why this was important. See? This was important. Right? Where those Muslims, they were artisans, you know, they could make stuff, right? Look, it was considered prior to them an aberration, right? In the ancient world. Look, but then it say Islamic experts in the sciences were often expert instrument makers who enhanced their what? Their senses, y'all, of observation and calculation with them. See? So y'all should be able to let that foster through your brain for a couple seconds, y'all. Let it marinate. Hopefully it's an aha moment for some of y'all. I surely wanted to be. Real talk. Did I just totally erase that? Disappeared, yo. Can I get back to that? Am I on that? Let me see. Great, drop the link, man. Show some love, man. Hit the Cash App, man. You know, we like 5 Cash Apps around here per show. Yeah. Let me see here. Watch this. Damn. Why did that do that? Shit. That ain't it. I'm telling you, what you want to call that to get you, to fake you out. Okay. The notion that seeing is believing, he writes in Astrophysics for People in a Hurry, works well in many endeavors, including mechanical engineering, fishing, and perhaps dating. Yeah, your senses work good for all that, right? But it doesn't make for good science, y'all. Say this again, man. Your senses ain't good for making good science. Science is not just about seeing; it's about measuring, preferably with something that's not your own eyes. Say it again, yo. You need to measure something that's not your own eyes, yo. Which are inextricably conjoined with the baggage of your brain. What is meant by the baggage of your brain? I mean, you know, like your beliefs. That's part of the baggage. Your biases. That's part of your baggage. I got a bias against white people. That's fine, but it's a baggage that's gonna mess up your science. They lying to us. Yo, the All-Max is black. Man, we flew over here in a jet plane, yo. We built the jet plane in ancient Egypt. It's the baggage. The instruments will help separate that baggage because it's attached to it. It say that baggage is more often than not a satchel of preconceived ideas, post-conceived notions, in outright box. Science didn't achieve maturity until we invented machines, mechanisms, devices that either replaced our senses, extended our senses, became a whole other sense entirely. There are things going on out there that our five senses know nothing about. We stop right here. Easy bang, you done, man. I ain't listening to you sometimes. It take you a while to get it sometimes. I'm never in trouble, bro. Never. You read the documents. Right? Let me drop this link, man. Man, listen, let me drop the Cash App link first. Where we at? We almost at an hour. If y'all don't want to get up here and do this, man, I can move on. I don't got a problem with that. It's all good, man. I did my job. I did my service. For the day, man, I appreciate everybody, man. Ain't no issues, man. I don't expect you to get it the first time around, second time around, or the third time around, man. You are attached to your pseudoisms. Your enemy is yourself. I'm going to say it again. Your enemy is yourself. You're fighting against yourself. You're fighting against the baggage attached to your brain, to your mind. That's why we use tools, man. There you go. So culture, if healthy, will continue to produce things that are measured through science, through empirical understanding. If you got a culture that shuns science, then your culture will die. If you got a culture of just believing and staying stuck in one way of seeing things, then you're done. So is there such thing as African science? Nope. Let me drop the link here. While y'all figuring out if y'all got heart or not, hit you with a tester. Go test out. Is there such thing as African science, though? Man, science is a universal evidence-seeking method. African science usually refers to where science is done. What questions are prioritized and how indigenous and local knowledge connects with research, y'all? There's no single scientific method that all scientists follow. Real science, okay, is interactive and diverse. Across fields, scientists share norms and transparencies, critique and peer review, reproducibility, same data, code, same results, and replicability, new data, consistent results help build confidence over time. Question, evidence, analysis, scrutiny, revision. Scientific method is an oversimplified scientific practice, is richer than a single step-by-step recipe. Science in Africa. Geography, institutions, research conducted in African countries, universities, labs, field. Y'all forget funding systems, African contributions, people, networks, work led to African scientists, continent and diaspora, collaboration shaping global knowledge, innovation, indigenous local knowledge systems, interacting with scientific research, especially in environment, climate, agriculture, and health. Important. This part right here. Important. These meanings. Yeah, everybody up. These meanings do imply different standards of evidence. These meanings do not imply different standards of evidence. Only different context, priorities, knowledge, and histories. That's it, man. Okay. Why the label matters, man. All right. Useful, equality, and set an agenda. But it also can be misleading, yeah. When it helps, highlight where knowledge produced is structurally imbalanced, funding, infrastructure, publishing power, supports agendas, setting around local needs, health, agriculture, climate, adaptation, biodiversity. When it's misleading, can be read as different standards of evidence, may be used to protect claims from testing by treating them as cultural conception. Man, you know, that's indigenous. We don't have to test that. It can obscure the diversity within Africa and treating the continent as a single unit, man. Best practice, keep evidence standards consistent while expanding participation, recognizing knowledge histories, and aligning research priorities with local context. We just stop right there. I'm going to touch them up a little bit, man. That's where we at, man. All right, so we got the first callers here, man. What's good? Talk to me. What it do?
What up, Unc?
Suntan, how you doing, brother? How you feeling, man? Good to have you on here, man.
While I can appreciate your presentations, I always do, but you got to add, I have to add to this conversation, philosophy, right? And
yes,
I'm gonna tell you why I got to add philosophy to this conversation, because your premise is absolutely right. However, you have a situation on a scale of Armageddon, which is a unknown war, which goes on now, which is happening as we speak. But let me get to my point. Right now, however right you are, you still in a war against every Sunday at church people in the world. So you battling a whole world of belief with science, with a scientific method, which is irrelevant because they don't mix. So everybody is not scientific. While I understand your premise, you're not going to get everybody to feed into your philosophy. So, and it's not only is it philosophy, it's scientific fact, what you are selling. And it's great for someone who wants to be scientific. Everybody not scientific. You had somebody in the chat saying Easy Band is dumb as rocks and all of these kind of insults when you saying a man dumb for having his own thoughts. And you the main one, because this is what made me come out and speak. You said yourself, religion, talking against that stuff right there, you can get you killed back in the old days. Remember you said that? So my point is this right here. While you're right, while you're 100% right in your premise, but you're still not going to overcome a world of believers. Now that's a fight that you're just not going to win. Would you agree?
Yeah, but I'm not even trying to make that.
But see, I understand that. That's why I said we had to add philosophy into it. And I fall back because you have a lot of followers who want to follow you with your premise, and you know you got a scientific premise. So that's great. But then they can't be calling other people dumb and this and that because they don't follow the scientific premise. You see what I'm saying? That's what I have a problem with people with. When they think they science literate, they think they're smarter than every damn body else. But like I said, they may be in science, but that same scientist probably can't even drive a 18-wheeler truck. So that's just a small example I'm saying. But keep doing what you're doing, because even me, I wasn't scientific, but I like your measure. So I listened and I learned, and I do my own research. Science, being scientific is all about discovering, defeating, and having a war with the unknown, as far as diseases, viruses, and whatever. So it's a great endeavor. So I'll leave it right there.
Okay. Let me add to that. it's not a war going on between science and religion. That's the YouTube stuff.
Well, you see, you get
that's social media stuff. But that's mischaracterization of what I just did. No,
because it's happening.
You gotta let me talk though.
Because you present my
I'm saying you let yourself. You said it already. I'm saying is you say it in church. I'm not trying to convince anybody in church of anything. I'm saying this conversation was based around easy bands making a false notion that the scientific method was pioneered by white people. That's a damn lie. That's an outright cap.
Right.
Now, they pioneered some important parts of the scientific method, but the whole overall reaching scientific method comes from different cultures, and it culminates in Europe.
Yeah.
And if you don't understand that, then you just don't understand science on purpose, like willfully. Like it's hard to have a conversation, but that's not a fight between science and religion. That's your belief, right? You can have that because you can be a scientist, right? And be a Christian. So it's obviously not a war raging. But let me move to the next person. What's up, Shay? What's going on with you, brother?
Finish. It's just three more words.
Go ahead, get the 3 words and then we'll let us share.
You got a lot of followers, and they making it against science and religion.
That's
not your followers are. So I'll leave it there.
All right. What's up, Shay? How you doing, brother? Wake up.
I'm doing great, brother. The day been long already.
Okay. All right. Appreciate to have you on here, man.
No problem. No doubt. Appreciate being here.
So, you dropped.
So what I was observing was, I was looking at this myself as soon as you said it. And I'm like, I just simply asked the question, is there such thing as African science versus European science? And of course, the general consensus is going to be no. But what it states is that there is a different cultural and historical context. What people actually mean with that phrase is that there's a contrast between African indigenous knowledge systems and the historical dominant Western European scientific tradition.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked for a compare and contrast because I'm like, because it's easy to just freestyle it, but let me give it to you from the horse. So it gives us the core focus and the main orientation. It says African indigenous knowledge. It's place-based, focused on a specific land, community, and survival needs, in contrast to the European science that seeks universal law that applies everywhere, extracted from place and culture. It states that in regards to African indigenous knowledge, sustaining life, harmony, and social spiritual balance is a science of survival, versus the European explaining and predicting phenomena, generating generalizable theories and technologies. We went to another one, methods and validation. African indigenous knowledge, empirical observation, long-term trial and error, oral transmission embedded in ritual and custom. Western European science, formal hypothesis, controlled experiments, quantified data, written publication, and peer review. Practical success, going back to the African indigenous knowledge. Practical success over generations, community consensus, alignment with cultural values. Western European science, replicable.
Mm-hmm.
Results, statistical significance, critique by a specialized expert community. African indigenous knowledge, elders, healers, farmers, artisans, like you spoke on, knowledge often collectively held. With the Western European science, professionally trained scientists and institutions, universities, labs, and journals. So I asked for, what's the scholarly backing on this? So we get Julius Gatogo's 2023 article, African Indigenous Knowledge versus Western Science in the Embed Mission of Kenya, HTS, Theological Studies, directly analyzes the interface between African Indigenous knowledge and the European science and technology. He defines science broadly as organized knowledge and showed that African societies had long-standing innovations in tool making, calendars, mathematics, astronomy, and technology, arguing this gives credence to the continent being the originator of formal mathematics, astronomy, architecture, navigation, engineering, and map making. Katogo characterizes African indigenous knowledge as holistic, humane, in their language Ubuntu, and relational, rooted in pre-colonial society and centered on community, wholeness, and harmony. He contrasts this with the Western science, as it arrived after the Industrial Revolution, carried by missionaries, like I spoke on in my bill, and colonial authorities with technologies like modern medicine, machinery, and cash crops, and notes that Western science stamped its superiority and often dismissed African medicine as a non-existent or superstitious. At the same time, he concludes that Western science did not erase African indigenous knowledge, but produced a hybrid, if you would, in which indigenous science of survival coexists and interacts with European science rather than being totally annihilated.
So right here on the screen, I don't want to counter that. I want to add to it.
No problem.
And I'm going to add to it by showing you this right here. Indigenous knowledge and modern science. A rigorous bridge, testable claims, ethical knowledge, and cooperation. They say how to connect knowledge systems without lowering standards. So science can't lower their standards just to connect indigenous knowledge. It wouldn't make sense to you. But there's a healthy way to do this. It says translate empirical claims into hypotheses, meaning take it to the rigors of science, define measurable outcomes, compare against alternatives, and report uncertainty. See that? So a person with indigenous medicine should not be afraid to formulate a hypothesis around it, right? If you got what you got. Now, co-produce, meaning they have to be involved in the process. Co-produce research with knowledge holders, consent, benefit sharing, meaning don't sit down with the indigenous people, extract they indigenous plants and go make $1 trillion off of it and don't give them credit for it. That's whack. Right. That's whack. That's colonial imperialism. It says benefit sharing and protection against misappropriation. It say use open science practices where appropriate while protecting privacy and secret indigenous knowledge. You got to protect their secrets. The same way United States is never didn't Russia make the vaccine and give them knowledge on it. The same way they, right? It say in health context, it say integration should be regulated and evidence-based safety, quality, effectiveness. It say key policy points. This is UNESCO. Open science guidance explicitly notes that some data may need restrictions to respect sacred indigenous knowledge. The WHO policy emphasized strengthening safety qualities, assurance, and property and proper use of traditional medicines. That's how that's supposed to be done. We cannot run in the conscious community talking reckless and crazy. I agree, right, that we have to. Come on, bro. Anybody with a little bit of sense understand the pharmaceutical companies, right? They use plants. I talk about the scientists. It's Black History Month.
Of course.
Right. What is his name, man? This man extracted, he synthesized plants. Black man, he synthesized, I can't believe can't recall his name, but he unlocked the secret magic of plants, the active ingredients. He synthesized it, right? And he used it. So plants have active ingredients, bro, that pharmaceutical companies extract to form your medicines today.
Man, stop it, man. Y'all gotta stop acting like y'all know what's in that stuff, bro.
Well, we do know what's in it.
And don't go, and please don't go pseudo. Now that'd be going pseudo on me if you tell me you really know what's in them tablets.
We do. You do know. Yeah. You gonna trust something, right? You saying ain't some that it's you're gonna go conspiracy.
I'm not gonna go conspiracy. I don't gotta go conspiracy. There's no need for me to do that. But the fact of the matter is this. They're adding, just like they do with the food that we eat, they're adding so many extra components onto that stuff, basically cutting it. Since you said you was in the street, so you know what I'm talking about. Basically cutting it, diluting it. So it's definitely not in its purest form. They giving you even when you go in and get your stuff at the hospital, you're not even getting the brand name joint. They giving you Tylenol and aspirin. No, they giving you some type of knockoff joint at that. But it's super duper diluted, and it probably come on, bro. Have you ever do you get into these researches? This stuff ain't got half of the actual herb that they actually extracted in it, bro. If that was the case, cats would actually be getting cured, not just getting they symptoms subdued temporarily. Stop it.
The guy name is Julian Percy. He had his own pharmaceutical company in Mexico. Him and his son was standing in the tree. They burned the cross on his mansion in his yard. And so him and his son was waiting in the tree and shot him up the next time they came by. Julian Person is a chemist, yo. Black chemist.
And I'm not saying in its original state that it wasn't pure. But where it's at today,
but you misunderstand what pure is. Yo, pure may kill you, bro. You know, everything on earth is a potential poison.
Pure may kill you.
Yeah, pure may get you. That's a purge, bro. You did.
Pure may get you. Pure may, you might not be able to tolerate pure. You're right. You're right with that.
That's what I'm saying, bro. It's there, yo. What's going on, Humble? Where you at?
I'm here, brother. I'm here, brother.
How you doing, man?
I'm also wanted to chime in on the conversation. I'm doing well. How you doing, brother?
I'm surrounded by the bomb squad.
Hey, listen.
Right here. Appreciate y'all. What's
One
up?
of my contentions is, you asked the question, is there such thing as African science or European science? And I want to answer the question that yes, there's absolutely a such thing as African science. Is the Nile Valley not in Africa?
Yeah.
The Nile Valley is in Africa, right?
Yeah.
And so we most definitely have something called Nile Valley science, right? Let me read this. Let me read this really fast just to put it in perspective, right? What is Nile Valley science, right? It says Nile Valley science, the term used in Afrocentric research circles, specifically in the works of scholars like Eben van Sermeta, Charles S. Finch, and others, to highlight the scientific and philosophical achievements of Nile Valley civilizations. These scholars say that the Nile Valley was a major source of early science, mathematics, medicine, and cosmology, influencing later cultures. A response to Eurocentric narrative. Now, this is something you spoke about a little earlier, right? When you were talking about Aristotle and them like that, right? A lot of things that people don't understand when we reach into the Aristotles and stuff like that is they actually went to Kemet to get their information. So it's a response to the Eurocentric. That's what Aristotle and them did. They took the information, they Eurocentric, right? So it's the Nile Valley science is also used as a corrective to older Eurocentric claims that minimize African contributions. So this is what Aristotle and them did. They made claims that tried to minimize the African contributions to what they had already did to science, right? And now I ain't even gonna read the rest of it, but it's
don't read yourself to death.
Stance like this. I'm making a stance and claim to this, right?
All right, go for it.
If we have something, if we already have a system established, right, that everybody is using that come from one particular place, then who do that system belong to? We just can't say, well, that's a system. We ain't gonna let nobody have a system. That's just a system. No, this is an African system. We can't just say anybody can have this system. The oldest stone used on the planet was in Africa. We know that. We can't just say anybody just did that. No, they had that in Africa 3.3 million years ago. We can't just get that to anybody. So when we say, is there such thing as an African science? Yes, and it's blended in with their African culture. We can see that. And that was my point. Thank you, Brother Ankh, for letting me lay that out there. I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, y'all about 15 years behind with that. I'm with you.
That's crazy.
Hey, I ain't mad at you. I'm sitting here like I appreciate the conversation. What I will tell you is that you just gotta understand science, how it's transmitted, yo. So if you look at this book right here, I'm gonna let you go. I got you.
Go ahead.
This book right here, right? This is the illustrated atlas of the human body. So a lot of times people put up fake stop signs, like people in the community that say, "Man, they stole this." Man, that's not true, yo. I ain't steal nothing. And this book is talking about medical milestones. Look, it's right here. It says medical milestones. So if they was trying to lie, and they got a daggone right here, look, boom. So if they're trying to hide it, they telling you it's connected. And it says right here. It says, I am Hotep is one of the first physicians known by name. And the father of the Egyptian medicine is born. Survival Bara indicate much earlier origins of Egyptian medicine. And then in this book, it's part of the
tell you right there.
Look,
so what did tell you right there?
It tell you that this is a white man book right here is what it's telling you.
No, you see how
Let me read it. Let me read the white man book.
Wow, you crazy.
Let me read the white man book. Just let me read the white man book.
Tell you that Imhotep was the first physician.
I know in the white man book.
So if Imhotep created this thing, hold on one second. Hold on one second. I'm not trying to land my plane. I promise. I got to land my plane.
You can't even take off. I got the runway. I got the runway. Come on, humble. I got the runway, humble. Listen, you can't even take off. I'm not clearing you.
Let him have it, humble. Hey, humble, let him have it.
Yeah, bro. Come on, man. Come on.
Because I'm looking at high Greece right now. In the white man book, it got an African papyrus, and it says the Edward Smith papyrus written in ancient Egypt script, 1900 to 1600 BCE, is the earliest known medical literature. Okay, consisting of 48 case histories. It describes conditions, diagnosis, and treatment in a rational and systematic way. So in the white man book, he's saying, look, Negro, you got the first attested. This saying Africans got the first attested case histories. No, anywhere on the planet first, bro. What more you want, yo?
You terrible.
But come on, man. You proving this point in a way.
Hold on.
Hold on, fam. I know you want to rock out with Ankh. Chill out.
He's cool.
Everybody know how to turn. So
I know, bro. But we don't cry to speak. We've been a good build. I'm just gonna add this real quick, and I'm gonna fall back. So you agree with him. You agreeing with him, because the fact of the matter is this, man. If my mom, just because my mom made tacos and she a black woman don't mean she ain't make Mexican food, man. Ain't nothing wrong with putting a stamp of origin on where the stuff is coming from. So what the brother's saying that's considered, quote unquote, he's putting it in the realm of African science. Damn, man, you hate your people that much? You hate the African that much that he can't have a stamp of origin on something? That his shit just got to go to everybody now? But everybody else they can have their original stuff. And you can call things Mexican, you can call things Asian, you can call things Latin, but the African can't have shit? How dare y'all?
Is that what you're hearing?
That's what I'm hearing. That's what everybody been hearing, bro.
That ain't what I heard.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if that's what you conveying, but that's what everybody hearing, bro.
No,
that's what everybody hearing, bro.
Don't speak for everybody. I say that's what you heard.
Bro, you know I ain't speaking for your ass, bro. You know I ain't speaking for you.
You only speaking for you. You only speaking for you and humble.
I would never be speaking for you. You the bro. You're the biggest. You're the biggest eater. Like you for real.
All right,
you and humble, y'all together. We know.
All right, go ahead, King Jay. You know, King Jay is always halfway wrong anyway. So let's hear what he's got.
But from what I'm hearing, brother, I'm hearing the Africans had a system that was refined. All systems are open for refinement. So for instance, when we talking about this papyrus that they're using for this medical papyrus, right? The Egyptians would give you the cure, right? And then they would give you the incantation to recite, because you had to recite the heka to activate it, right? So it was some the magic, yeah. It was some spookies into it. So I don't mind if European science, if you want to call it European science or modern day science, has taken that spookism out of it, and they just give us the science, right?
It's not happening, Jay. You got to get you the hold on, bro. You got to get you the Greeks and the Muslims. The Muslims start to put that together. It ain't in Europe yet. I just showed y'all.
Man,
but yeah, just
Greece
is
in Europe, man. And that's what I meant to tell you too. Greece is in Europe.
Yeah, it's in the Mediterranean. It's in Mediterranean.
Yeah, look it up right now. Look it up. It's Greece in Europe right now.
But I'm saying they call it a Mediterranean culture, though. You right,
man? No, man, that's Europe, man.
No, it's not Europe. It's a Mediterranean culture in Egypt.
Y'all crazy, man.
I don't think you probably heard of MENA before. Have you? Have you heard of MENA?
Bro. I don't care what you're talking about. Rome is in Europe.
We're not talking about Rome. We're talking about the Greeks, right? Who
Greece is in Europe as well.
Brother, we're not talking about Greece. I said the Greeks who lived in Egypt. Necrotis, Alexandria.
Of course, they didn't live in.
They did live in Egypt. What are you talking about, brother? Follow the conversation.
We're talking about Greece and Rome being in Europe. What are you talking about Egypt for? You do that little weird, like you one of the most weirdest, scandalous cats on the show. Get that presentation in.
Can somebody talk without you cutting them off? You speak. We mute out, brother. We don't agree with you.
You always call yourself correcting somebody, then move the goalposts.
I say we don't agree with you, but we mute out. Learn some decorum, brother.
You cut in on my speech.
Disagree with you. Hold on, brother.
Hold on.
How to let somebody disagree and be quiet.
I know y'all hear me, yo.
That's it.
It's a great conversation, yo. We're not doing this. The bomb squad, stop taking off. You're not clear for flight to even land. Okay, everybody take time. King J is cleared for flight. Go ahead, King J. Go ahead.
Yeah, I appreciate it, bro. So the conversation I'm having is the Greeks, right? He's making the saying that the Greeks are coming from Greece. The Greeks are coming from Egypt. They're coming from Africa, brother. Right? Alexandria is a Greek colony in Egypt, brother. Naucratis is a Greek colony that was given to the Greeks by the Pharaoh in the Nile Delta. You shaking your head, humble, so you might not be familiar with the information. These are the first. Hold on. Naucratis and
Alexandria was a Greek city, though.
It is. That's what I said.
Bro, this is pseudo, bro. This is pseudo.
I don't know what.
This is a pseudoism all day.
Let him go. We want to hear him. Go ahead.
It's not pseudo if you don't understand it, brother. You can look. It's a fact. Naucratis and Alexandria are Greek colonies in the Nile Delta, brother. The first. So they've always been there, brother. They've always been there. They've been there since antiquity.
All right, let's get back on the point. I'm saying that when you look at
he just said the Greeks always been in Egypt, bro. We go slide past that, bro. We just gonna slide past that.
They have.
Hold on, bro. The brother just said that the Greeks. He said the Greeks came from Egypt, bro. What are we doing?
The Greek that you're talking about, the Ptolemies, right? Where they come from?
You trying to specify the Ptolemies?
Where was they?
Why are you trying to specify the? You see what he doing, bro? He talking broads, and then when you correct him, he trying to make it absolute. Like, bro, you caught up, bro. I'm gonna move on.
Who caught up? Yeah, they didn't come from Greece, brother. They came from Alexandria.
Yeah, born specifically. And raised in but hold on. I think the overreaching point we're trying to make here is that I'm just trying to get the brothers and sisters to recognize that science is a whole arching endeavor. You know, I actually have lectures that I go in to like black colleges and I give them the origins of STEM. Okay. And I try to get people to realize it's keys. So a lot of time, based off of our ignorance of science, we think that the Europeans just popped up and started doing stuff. That is ridiculous, yo. You have to have, it's like building a pyramid. You got to have a foundation or the top stone ain't going to stay. It's going to fall down. So the strong foundation in STEM starts in Africa and Asia, right? You can actually read the book UNESCO and they go back, let's say 2 million years. So we saying we ain't even talking about Homo sapiens laying the foundation down first. To be honest with you, the first tool maker is Homo habilis. It's a tool maker. The name habilis, tool maker, right? Homo erectus. 3 million, they made tools. This is in Africa though, first, the earliest tools you can find them. So they lay that foundation. You know, that arrowhead, that stone tools. It's the foundation. Those, yes, you can. But we're saying, by the time you get to saying European science, it's ridiculous because European science stands on the shoulders of the Muslims, what I just talked about. And the Muslims stand on the shoulders of the Greeks and the Persians and all that.
It's a get the runway when you done.
It's a whole, I'm landing, I'm cruising in. It's a whole thing. That's the point. It's not so I'm never saying that white people created anything. I'm saying white people is part of the creation. And the latest thing that we know of is modern science. So we wrongly say it's white man science when it's built on a body of a whole lot of information, and the sources actually say that.
A continuation of anything.
No doubt.
A continuation
so
of
that's
anything.
why when we looked at, so that's why when I broke down what I broke down, we went to the source that I went into, right? We observed that it was just a different take and a different methodology. You've seen a different lingo. You've seen a different language being utilized as well.
So, but it still work. It either work or it don't. You get it? Even
they both work. They both work. But this is what we must observe as well. Even though, like you said, that may have started in Africa dealing with Homo hibiscus. I can't even pronounce the damn shit right now. Homo biscuit. Even dealing with Africa, but we know that it was a retention of these of the science that took place in Africa and Asia, and it was a fall off when they got to Europe. And you can't say it wasn't a fall off because it went to a very. So do we really get into Dr. John Henry Clark work? What does he talk about? What does he talk about in compare and contrast to the? What does he talk about in compare and contrast to the Western civilization and Eastern civilization in times of antiquity before they got to coming over? Finding out what we had going on. How were they living?
They've been here.
How did they live? How did they live?
The same as the Egyptians did.
They lived in they had what we would consider
the same sapots in the Nile Delta. They lived in the same sapots.
Why are you still talking about? That's why I'm not talking to Mr. Disingenuous.
Because you're not understanding the conversation.
I can't talk to Mr.
Debunking everything you're saying, brother.
In a genuine conversation.
So you're not going to understand.
We all know for a fact that while we had these large. What we would look like.
For one, you're racializing the term.
We had these large thresholds.
Stop doing that.
I'm not racializing Africa. I'm being honest. What is the oldest European threshold? What is the oldest European threshold?
Hold on, that's not the point. Here's the point. Do you see this?
It is the point.
All right. Can you see the picture right here?
I had that. Did you watch my build? This is coming from Josiah Priest.
I know. What do you see here? Seriously, what do you see here?
An attempt, the white man being what I would consider put above all people, of course.
All thing is no. In actuality,
that's exactly what's happening.
No, this is what he's doing. He's showing a modernized European, and he's going back to the indigenous cultures. What they should have did was they should have went back to the indigenous European cultures and equated it with, you know what I'm saying? Like if you got Stone Age tribal people, then the measure is other Stone Age tribal people. The measure, you cannot measure America right now to the damn Stone Age people, yo. It's the most craziest thing ever. It's like a person trying to take a statement I made 10 years ago and then put it up against their statements they're making right now. That's not how you really do it. If you're talking to me, measure my statements 10 years ago, then measure your statements you made 10 years ago. That's fair. You do not take indigenous people that are in the Stone or the Iron Age cultures, right? You go to Adam and Eve's Island and then put it up to Space Age cultures, yo. How unfair is that? How ridiculous is that? And that's what they're actually doing right here. They taking a person in a 3-piece suit and then go back to everybody else in their indigenous outfits. It's the most ridiculous thing ever, yo. It's not a fair comparison at all. It's ridiculous. And then we carry these stereotypes forward. That's my point.
But then
exactly. When we say our cranial.
You gotta let Richard Coleman go. Go ahead, Sabio. Make your point.
I've read some of that book, and if you read the language that he's using towards the indigenous cultures, it all aligns with the Christianized thinking of them being unintelligent, savage, having practices that aren't human, that are outside of this rubric of whiteness, this standard of whiteness that they're building and they're creating, that they're going to call civilized, the civilized human. And if we continue to not understand how they misuse the actual science that was being put forth through Darwin and natural selection and things like that, to push this social Darwinism, all we're going to do is keep the door open for racism to promulgate. That's it. That's all we're going to do.
We're not going to close the barrier or actually address the issues that caused us to not understand science and misuse science to promote racist talking points against ourselves.
Well, you know what?
It was racist science that introduced y'all to this language in the first place.
You'll never hear me say, I try not to say that. I don't never want to call, like African Americans or black people. I don't even say they racist. I just say they just misunderstanding criteria and what they actually talking about. What's up, Kyle, man? What's good with you, brother? Talk to us. What's on your mind?
Man, what's going on? And peace to everybody on the panel.
Getting it in.
Peace, Kyle. You owe me $5.
How owe you $5?
God, you better me wasn't gonna be no teachers in 2026. I'll pay up.
Man, I ain't say no 2026.
Yeah, you did. Let's leave it alone. Let's stay on the topic.
Yeah, I just I'm here for the conversation. I mean, I like where we was going with the precursor to it. I know it's a lot of pushback because we believe there's something that we call African science and stuff like that, and that's cool. I get where y'all coming from, but we got to make sure that we stay in a line to how science actually works, and we make sure that the things that we're fighting for are legit. And I'm just here for the conversation, so I ain't got no real agenda. I'm just here for the good conversation. So, but peace to everybody on the panel.
So I don't have a.
May I ask the brother a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Within any of the definitions that you at least heard today, as far as the explanation for the definition of African science, do you disagree?
Are you mean like the definition, like what is African science, or
like I gave an explanation for what, I mean, because I'm on the side of that African science does exist. I gave the explanation source. Humble, he sided with that thought as well. He gave his explanation. I believe he had a source as well. So within those definitions that were given, or those explanations, if you would, do you agree?
Well, I didn't hear your full explanation. I came in kind of late, and I apologize for that. But
that's cool.
If you're talking about Inyami, like that would be like more of spirituality, though, right?
No, that's just the language.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I can't speak on that topic. I'm not something that I've studied, so.
Right. No problem.
I'm saying if when you say African science, you mean done by scientists on the continent of Africa.
You keep saying that.
Then I'm with you. But if you say Africans, like it's a whole nother way of doing stuff that fits outside of science that you can't measure, then that's just African spirituality. Then that doesn't fit the framework of science. Why y'all talking when I'm talking though? That's ridiculous, yo. I'm hosting. Let me get my thought out.
Go ahead.
That's a big ass hand right there, Humble. I can't even that's Jabari tactic. Jabari do like this. You like, come on, dog. That's Jabari move.
Man, listen, like, what?
That's the killer tactic. Yo, look, you like, what the fuck? Can't even think. Jabari do that, point, bro. My point is that if we got traditional ways of doing stuff, right, it's okay, man. But you still got to take it through the lenses of science if you think it's going to heal somebody. We can't get left behind stuck in superstition, right? I'm saying indigenous cultures do got things that actually work, yo. They really do. So we're not saying they don't. We just saying, yo, if you're going to call it science, then it's got to go through the rigor of science. There you go. Go ahead, Humble.
All right. So that's the thing, right? So when we talk about the first irrigation system being in Africa, right? The first water pump system being in Africa, the first stone tools used being in Africa, how are we just going to then say these are not African things? These are general things.
No, they're African things.
We came up with these things.
We agree.
This is African science. How are we just not going to say this is not African science?
No, we gotta change the name to African originated.
No. It's African. Is science practice developed by Africans in Africa, yo? Nobody's denying that.
African. He just not trying to say
I just want to maybe add some clarity.
No, but it's science. I'm saying, but no. So don't use the word science then, because now I got to get technical with you. Now I got
not if it's being done scientifically.
No,
if
it's not.
Being done scientifically,
how
could we not use the word?
It's not being done scientifically.
No, it's
so are you saying water irrigation systems is not a scientific thing? That's not scientific.
No, what time period you talking about?
That's not what he said.
I'm talking about the olden time period when they were literally water pumping systems and creating canals for water flow.
All right, go get the source.
Are you saying that's not a use of science?
I'm just saying go get the source. We wait.
He said in Kemet. He said in Kemet that should give you a time frame, and you know that once the Greeks came in, they didn't upkeep. They did a poor job of upkeeping the irrigation system.
I'm saying that they had an empirical way of making sure that they able to move the water. Listen to me. Regularly, right? So we're not saying it's not empirical. We're not saying that. I'm just trying to say, it's still science. In Africa, done by Africans first. Like, what's wrong with that?
What's wrong with African science?
I don't want us to get confused with like science got like there's a white way of doing science and a black way.
No, that's not what we can. No, that's not our point. No, that's not our point. We're not trying to racialize science. No, that's not the point. I'm not trying to racialize science, and I'm not trying to open a runway up for niggas to then be turn around and say, "Oh, that's the white man science." Like, I'm not trying to make that cool. I'm not opening the door for that.
When you say African, African science,
you can't tell me what.
Then when you say African science, what do you mean if you're not referring to?
We talking about the particular. You ask the question. Can I answer it?
I'm not done asking the question, brother.
But damn. You gonna ask the question in the question?
Can we have a fair conversation? Like, why are you so aggressive, brother? Just chill. I'm trying to speak. When you the first one get up there and say it's trash. That's why. Yeah, because you like to be nice, so I just give it to him raw. So when they keep saying African science, they're racializing the word. For one, the content is it's science on the content, like Ankh said. Before it was named Africa, it was named Libya. So was it Libyan science before then? Man, like, come on now, bro. You're racializing the term.
Thank you, Elder. That's trash. He on some flim garbage juice.
It's just a science. It's just a science from on the continent. That's it. It could be if a white person was implementing that same science from Africa, it wouldn't be African science anymore.
That's terrible,
that's
bro.
What you're saying.
What you doing is terrible.
That's what you're saying, brother.
We're talking about the origin of something being on the continent of Africa done by African people, making it African science. That's all we're saying. I don't know what you're talking about.
But African people can be white people.
But they weren't white people.
Yes, they were.
Where the pseudo-alarm at? Where's the pseudo-alarm at?
I don't got one on this show.
I got one. Hold on. I want to give you a prime example of the racism he's spewing. Yesterday on the panel, it was me, Napah, Easy Bands, right? We in Zion. We showed a picture of 4 or some Aegean colonies, right? It was 5 people, right? 2 of them were maids, right? Well, it was 2 women and 3 men. 2 women, 3 men. Yeah, Sanchez, you was on there with us yesterday. And the 2, it was a king and a princess, basically, right? The 2 servants were what you would consider white because they had a white skin tone. The princess and the prince had dark skin tone, who you would consider Black or African, but they weren't. They all were Greek. So you can't look at their skin tone and say these are African people because based off their skin tone. When you're saying African, what genetic markers are you using when you're saying these
people? What are you talking about, man? You sound like a fool. Why are you talking about complexion? Whoever brought up complexion in this conversation?
African,
what's happening here? Why are you moving the goalposts to be this way? It's terrible, bro.
Give your definition, brother.
It's terrible,
African,
bro.
what do you mean?
We talking about people who live on the continent of Africa. We're talking about Africa. We're talking about times of antiquity on the continent of Africa. And we know for a fact that it wasn't no white people that was developing the things that we're talking about on the continent of Africa.
Yes, they were.
In particular, we're talking about the conversation is about European versus African science, right?
This is how you
we was talking about the origin of these things on the African continent. You cannot take away.
Let me tighten it up. That's the issue. When we say European science, and then we saying, yo, they hiding this from us. They trying to kill us. We won't practice African science. That's the issue. Africans practice science in Africa. Indigenous people will send their kids abroad to schools and will come back and be a doctor in their community. And you can practice evidence-based medicine side by side traditional medicine.
Period.
My point.
Period.
Traditional Chinese medicine is one of the largest medical traditional medicines on planet Earth. Traditional African medicine is one of the largest industries, right?
But you call it. Why you call it Chinese?
Because you got Chinese traditional medicine. It's called
you can have Chinese medicine, but you can't have African medicine.
I just said
you can have Chinese science, but you can't have African science. You see what they try to do,
I said it humble. I said traditional.
He responding to dude. He responding to dog in the middle.
I'm saying that's exclusive though. Traditional African medicine is exclusive to the continent of Africa. Traditional Chinese medicine is, I say traditional, it's exclusive to China. You don't have, you know what I'm saying, Nate, you will buy traditional medicines in other countries from China. You can order it online, same with Africa. I'm not saying that. So that's when you say this is exclusive to Africa. This is exclusive to China. But I'm trying to make the point, if you look at traditional Chinese medicine, alongside that, they got evidence-based medicine because people are so traditional that they want their Chinese medicine. That shit don't work, dog. It don't work better than the evidence-based medicine because if it did, why you gotta have evidence-based medicine then? The problem with Africa is they have not built up enough evidence-based medicine now, and they rely on, now here's the point you're trying to make a shot, they rely on other people. Russia does not rely on United States for a vaccine. Cuba did not rely on a vaccine from America. They only relied on, once they took the DNA and mapped out the coronavirus, right? All the scientists got it and they made their own vaccine.
And now you finna talk about Africa like, oh man, and that's crazy as hell. How you finna do that, huh? You just spoke about Africa, entire continent, then compared it to what you just compared it to, Germany or Russia. What was that?
Nah.
Well, because you know what you just did, and that was crazy, man. That was crazy.
I can do that. I'm trying to tell you that I said China. They got traditional medicine. It's one of the largest industry, yo.
Y'all niggas need to live.
But they got evidence-based medicine.
And China is a country, right?
I'm talking about the country of China.
All right. And Africa is an entire continent. So why is we talking about Africa in the absolute? That's crazy work.
Because you keep racializing.
Because there's certain people in Africa who didn't give a damn about a vaccine.
No, let me finish my point. You messing it up. You had me.
You messed it up when you did what you did.
Let me off the hook just now. I ain't even talking about that, man. So you're right. Let's get clarity. Africa is not one whole country. It's about 50-something countries, right? And I'm saying that evidence-based medicine, 54, the evidence-based medicine is not on the standard yet. That's why they rely on Britain and the United States and Canada for their vaccine. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying get rid of your traditional medicines in different African places. I'm saying raise the standard for your evidence-based, but they will never raise the standard as long as African Americans is acting like science ain't good. That's a bunch of crap.
I would even take it further. I would take it further than that, Uncle, and say traditional medicine was probably more like spirituality. It's not even evidence-based medicine. It's more just like their spiritual system.
So that don't mean it didn't work. Hold on, let me say this. Just because it's not evidence-based doesn't mean it don't work.
But look, they
You know
had
what though?
they had to ask for Heka. They had to perform rituals to
Now
to
he's solely
get it
speaking
to
about
work.
he only know about Egypt or something. But I want to let me say this real quick because I brought this out, bro. Like in regards to the African indigenous knowledge, I'll go back to it. Empirical observation, long-term trial and error, oral transmission, embedded in ritual and custom. So I'm pretty sure if it didn't work, if they have empirical observation, long-term trial and error, they would have just switched it up. So
embedded in ritual and custom.
all of those are those are scientific methods,
Yeah, no, I agree with you. If it ain't gonna work, they're gonna stop doing it. I'm not saying, but they didn't know the why. That's the difference.
No, you messing that up. Now you messing that up,
man. Look,
because
they've been existing and doing their thing way before we had our knowledge of what we got going on in modern science. You finna act like they need modern science to sustain their life. They ain't never needed modern science to sustain life and to do what they was doing. Man, y'all playing games.
No, hold on.
They didn't know it. They didn't know it worked. That's for sure.
They definitely knew it worked. That's why they passed it down.
So they knew that Osiris was
man, here you go. Why can he go back to Egypt?
Yeah, we talking about two separate things.
Y'all hold up 1 second. We can't sit up here and act like didn't just read a book that talked about Imhotep. Now, if Imhotep was the first physician in history,
we're talking about Egypt.
Whose shoulders did he stand on? Who did he get his information from? If he created a whole thing and he was the first, then who did he get his information from?
Share culture.
Now Africans got their information from other people. No,
this science has been developing on the continent of Africa for years and thousands and millions of years.
Bro, you cannot say it's not
it's a shared culture, brother.
It's chemistry African.
All right, let's take a break. It's
a shared science.
Listen, we taking a break. We taking the Cash App break. This is my point right here, yo. I'm dropping the Cash App, right? I try to get 5 per show. I ain't got 1 on this show. Yeah, y'all tripping. I'm about to move to the other channel in a minute, right? That's what I'm about to do, right? And rock you about 5, all right? Show some love over here, man. Got to show some love. That's important, all right? Let me put the drop the Cash App, right? All right. Let me look at the debates real quick. All right. Let me start with this one first here. Napah versus Naphtali. Are we animals or primates? It's important to know. Religious people will say no. Pseudos say hell no. All right. Man, why y'all knock down what happened? Why y'all take down the thing? What y'all doing? What you doing, Sal?
What up, though?
Next one. Monkeys or man? When we talking about some anthropological statues, right? The man seemed to think they monkeys all of a sudden, and then he wants to debate whether all humans come from Africa. It's a death trap for him. Pseudoisms. The link is in the description of the video, man. Get that. All right. Now, hit the daggone Cash App, show some love, right? All right. For the program, this is a great discussion right here with the brothers, man. We be having some great discussions here, man. And the discussions are important for our development. Now, they're hearing that we're saying that why can't Africans have their own exclusive science? Because science was not exclusive to him. It's humanity all together got us where we at right here. First being attested in the Stone Age in Africa before humans left Africa. So everybody know that. But for it to get to the point where it was science, where we knew what we was doing, empirically tested, yo, it took all of humanity. That's how hard it was to separate their spirituality from their daggone science. We talked about that the other day. Super hard. Like harder than, do you know how long 350,000 years is? Do you realize that when Egypt tried to separate it, the priests would come right back with some heka, with some magic, and throw them off? Europe fell off too. It was hard. And they finally got here. And guess what? When they got there, that's when it took off. So yes, Africans now, right, are participating in science at high levels. The science that you claim is the white man's science, but it's really human science. It started in Africa first amongst Africans. We're not taking it away. The literature says so. But it's important to recognize that people, most times when they say African science, they talk about some indigenous stuff. Misrepresent with nature. Nature is trying to kill you every single day. But as soon as one of their kids get sick, though, they don't wait for Dr. Sadie to come. They don't call the Dr. Sadie hotline. Hey, look, my grandmother, you call the daggone ambulance. And when the ambulance show up, it ain't the black, it don't got a black fist on it.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Will open up, it might be a Chinese person and an African American.
But they gonna jump their ass in.
They're gonna say, get in there. They're gonna say, come on, my baby's right here. You open the door, they're coming in, they're gonna do all the stuff. They're gonna put in my hospital, they're gonna get to the emergency room, and they're gonna sit in there. I know I've been in the emergency room shot up. And then my homeboys, my mother, them, they sat in the emergency room. I was in shock trauma. They ain't say, I don't want no white doctor. They was like, it's the nigga I didn't say, don't touch me. No, they took all my clothes off. They turned me over, looked for different holes in me, trying to figure out what's going on. That's what they did. I didn't say, don't touch me.
I say what they refused it and then said, because it's not African science.
I'm in the middle of talking. No, they don't really mean that. Everybody say that on TV. We're on TV right now. It's the proper thing to say.
I mean, I don't think we never made a statement even along those lines.
No, we didn't.
That's what I'm saying. They didn't went all off the tracks now.
But you gotta think, bro, when you got certain guys who literally only come around to hate, don't got no presentation, no knowledge, you know what I mean? Can't expect nothing
bullshit,
more.
Brother. They just being nice to you,
Can't expect
brother.
Nothing more.
Your
bro.
information is garbage, I say.
You're garbage.
They just being nice to you, I say.
Hey,
That's
you're
it.
Garbage. You're
That's
garbage,
it,
bro. You have no information, dummy, dumbass.
We ain't got to do that. I say you know
that boy's jealous, bro. He's jealous. Bro, I'm the king. He hurt.
I say, why would I be jealous of you, brother?
What get that presentation in. Hey, get that presentation in, bro.
Yeah, you know we're gonna do right.
That's how if you go on the HOK, you'll see my first one.
Ain't nobody heard of that. Ain't nobody seen that. Nobody
hold on, let me say
they got 3,000 views on it. Suntan actually hosted it, moderated it.
Hey, King J, when you did that?
Suntan, when was that?
That was some months back.
Okay, all right. So it's kind of like y'all getting ready for a debate. Your first debate.
It got over 3,000 views.
Yeah, he don't even got a presentation.
Brother, I got presentations on YouTube, whole 4-hour presentations on YouTube.
Yeah, but hey, listen, check them out. Listen, let me say this real quick.
All over YouTube, brother.
Hold on, King J. You guys are not adversaries, man. That's just
he's using ad homs because he's using ad homs because the information isn't. I'm debunking them.
I'm trying to get a point out, and you diving all over me. Let's keep this adversarial, man. This is not adversary. We all building. Ankh is the top. He's the host, and we ain't got to take it there with no ad hominems or nothing, man.
Why is he, Suntan? Why is he?
You can't even be quiet, KJ. So you.
No, I'm asking you a question. Why is he doing that then?
Because, man, it's the way you start to hit what he's saying is trash and garbage. You know, everybody not as calm as the next man. Let's just keep it liberal and build, man. Like I say, perfect show. Let's not mess it up with all the ad hoc.
Nah, they all right, man. That they work. They want to get at each other. They're gonna get at each other.
We welcome that.
But we can be set up a debate with us. He's scared.
What? Now, come on, King.
So why when sa.neter asked you, did you want to debate us? You tucked your tail, coward.
Brother, we here right now.
Why? Yeah. Why when sa.neter told you? Why when sa.neter told you to debate us? You said I have a discussion with Ashe. I don't know about a debate. We agree on a lot of topics, boy. You not on my level for real, bro.
I said we can have a discussion.
Pick a topic. Pick a topic. I'll beat you down so bad. Pick your topic.
What topic?
Matter of fact, let's do this topic. You say there's no such thing as African science. Let's do that debate.
Let's do that right now.
No,
we're not right now, man. Get your life right, bro. That's a power move. That's the I don't want to fight for real show.
You don't have the information.
Hey, look. We register boxes. I'm Floyd Mayweather. He Manny Pacquiao. He like fight me in the club. Man, what, dude?
Now you scared.
Man, we can make it pay-per-view. And get it all the way together. Man, these niggas crazy, man. You don't want to get an organized debate for him because you know I'm gonna kick your ass.
I'm holding y'all to it, yo. That's all
I'm gonna call sa.neter and I'm gonna set it up. I'm gonna get it set up for you and Ashay. How that sound?
Yep.
We already got the topic.
Yeah. Is there a such thing as African science? He said no.
Yeah.
I take the affirmative.
Hey, go.
You said no, right? There's no such thing.
No such thing.
Man. All right, let me see. Y'all, wow.
We using definitions of words too. So let's keep them on definitions.
No, that's just gonna be the topic. Is there such thing as African science? So we're gonna leave it up to the people.
And we're gonna define the word African.
You're gonna lose.
And we're gonna define the word.
Let them come play semantics, Suntan. Don't warn them. Let them come play semantics and embarrass themselves. Do not warn them.
It's gonna be on because I'm gonna put this information across.
Science has to be outlined and defined in that.
He's a victim.
We about to find out. Look, man, make sure y'all like and subscribe to the channel, man. We ready to go over to the community skeptics, yo. We've been over here for 3 hours, yo. 2 hours. We go over to the community. We got the bells and whistles for real, right? I want y'all to figure out y'all topic to debate, and y'all get it in, man. You know, I say in the bomb squad, they be debating in it. It's time for them to get their feet in the ring anyway. Oh, man.
That's right.
They put some poison in it. They ain't put no daggone poison. Yeah, I see you drinking the poison right now. You drinking FDA-approved juice.
We ain't got no choice. I ain't never said I wouldn't indulge it. I ain't never said I wouldn't indulge it.
Hey, how you know they ain't put the poison in there to activate your melanin?
Hey, listen. I know it's about in there, man.
So I say this gonna be your first.
It's 56 grams. It's 56 grams of sugar, bro.
It's going down, King J. Going down.
So
you said it could be my first debate. No, I got a debate over at Sports Debate League.
No, I ain't talking about
No, I was talking to King J.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, it's gonna be the first on HOK.
Oh yeah.
It's going down. I'm about to call sign in a minute.
It's gonna be some information. For sure.
Yeah,
you just gonna come play games and get your head bust.
Oh man, you gotta get them.
No ad homonyms either, man.
Nah, they can do what they want to do. Yeah, we throw shots in our debates. What you talking about over here? You can throw shots.
Yeah, but it's gonna be the weigh-in too. So you know
we could do three. We could do what? 3 12 minutes.
Said that there no
Here's
such
the tricky. I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna show y'all what's gonna be tricky. If you mean by African science that there's a different way of
quit saying that, because ain't nobody saying that, man.
All right then. So you saying African is the practice science? Who's gonna debate that time? That's a crazy topic.
Then you agree with me?
When we talking, I thought we defined it like 3 times already. We talking about science that originated in Africa by African people.
Yeah.
And that's African science.
Who are African people?
That's all.
Who are African people?
Just be aware though for y'all.
And if that's the game you want to play, you go get your head bust all day. like see what he like. He want this whooping so bad, bro. He want to come play be Captain Semantic. I can't wait.
I'm gonna help you. I say with this debate. So
who are African people?
Science.
You know I'm gonna create a character for you called Captain Semantic, right?
Hey, I'm dropping a link into the other show, man. If y'all want to show up over there, man, I dropped it in this chat.
I'm gonna slide through. Where your link at?
Put it right there. What's up, guys? I'm going to get up out of here, man. We put our work in for the day over here, man. Appreciate all the support.
Hey, King J, Sai said you don't want none of that bomb squad. I'm talking to him right now. He said you don't want none of that.
Tell him it's been already today.
He said he talking about this already. He said it's already got going.
Tell him they got Reggie.
He said, Sai said, make sure you wear your diaper so you don't doo-doo all over the place.
We gonna find out. Tell him set it up. Tell him set it up. Give us about how many days I say.
No, y'all gotta put some time in and work it up.
I said it's on, man.
Yeah, it's on. We're gonna do that. We're gonna get we need that younger energy. How old is you, King J?
Sai said, can you get a date?
Yeah,
King J 80 years old, bro.
How old is you, King J?
I just had to let you know they barking loud. Right?
How old is you, King J?
40.
Right.
Yeah, King J 40. So we got the 40 against the 32-year-old, yo.
No, I'm 27, man. I ain't up there with them cats, man.
Oh, you 27.
You grown.
27, man. Yeah, embarrassment. Ain't like that young boy beat you.
I don't know. He gonna exploit
that young boy beat on you.
I'm gonna expose your pseudoism.
You know what? I watch the NFL, yo. Look, I watch the NFL, yo. Them young players, yo, they be them veterans, yo, be catching them out there, yo. He with the chip block, kill him. The young boy don't know how to slow down. The young boy running full speed.
He's saying there's no such thing as African science, bro. You know he cooked. He cooked.
Nah, brother. We're gonna define that word.
Yeah, y'all got
you go. If you think you finna come to the debate to define words, no, you coming to the show. It ain't no African science.
We're gonna find out what you mean when you say African.
Yeah, we're gonna find out.
You can't play semantics.
Who you talking about?
You.
Okay.
He talking about
I'm gonna be at the community, man.
All right, we hitting over to community skeptics right now, man. Yes, man. Like and subscribe to all the House of Conscience channel, man. sa.neter TV, man. Black News 102, man. Big up the Elder Santan. They call him Elder. Big up to the bomb shop. All right, man. Appreciate you, Stevie. Danielle, man. Man, welcome to the toughest environment. Hey.
No handouts here. You have to earn your respect. And when you do, you make they ass regret. They call it the toughest. And the title is earned from the bridges we crossed and the lessons we learned. In a cold-blooded kingdom, a concrete cage. Muslim, Christian, Israelites step on the stage. I dare you. I dare you. I dare you. I dare you. In a cold-blooded kingdom, sa.neter created. HOK, where you can't fake it. The HOK is where you fight back. No room for error, no window attack. It's a master class, how you handle the heat. Where the pedigree is written on the concrete streets. Toughest environment, yeah, we know the score. Locked in on debate and asking for more. The HOK is the toughest environment. Enter at your own